What's going on, everybody? It's November 15th. This is Speak On It for the Culture. We have some interesting topics to discuss today. A lot of interesting things going on in the news. Today we're going to be talking about Kanye West. We're going to get right into it also. So we're going to play this sound bite from Kanye, and then we're going to come back with some comments.
They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slice from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. You know, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important than keeping alive.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they're dealing with, they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right?
Man, it's it's so many layers to this thing, man. I don't know how the hell your name ended up over there, but let's go ahead. Boo. It's so many layers to this conversation with Kanye West, man. It's a very nuanced conversation. But Kanye West say it's up.
If it's up, then it's up.
It's
You
up.
know, man, that was actually refreshing. To be honest, that was refreshing because when you go online, you have conversations at the barbershop, and you see this all the time. You hear us we talking about Freemasons and just the different secret societies that that people reference, man, and for him to just kind of come out and say, I don't care. You know how many people have probably contacted him or tried to tell him, hey, you got to be quiet. You can't say this. You can't say that.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. It's like that. It's refreshing, to see someone that has arguably lost $1 billion over the last few weeks and says, I'm still worth $4 million. Y'all can't silence me. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to voice my opinion, and it's up.
400 million, by the way. But yeah, man, this man has lost a ton of money in a short amount of time, and he's going about this thing, I guess, in the best way that he knows how. I just wish he was a little bit more refined, and had people around him who had his best interest, that could help him with his messaging. That's one of the things that that is the most disappointing, because I honestly, man, I appreciate what Kanye is doing. A lot of it seems like it's in his, I mean, Kanye's that kind of personality, I love Kanye. Kanye loves Kanye type of thing. So it seems it can come off like he's doing this for his own benefit, and he is, right? But I also think there's a larger conversation that he's trying to be a catalyst for, and that I appreciate. So, the message always comes from a flawed messenger, so to speak. He just has a line that he needs to toe, and I understand what he's doing. He's got political aspirations, so I feel like a lot of this is that he's trying to garner support, from factions that he may not have had support from in the past, in an effort to move forward with a presidential bid. But I also think, he has black people's best interest in mind. He just has a particular way of going about it, But don't start disrespecting the minister, because then you're gonna lose a lot of people. Okay, go ahead.
And I don't think he disrespected the minister. I think he said, you were wrong, and let's have a conversation. So, he wants to have a conversation, with the minister, and he kind of showed that here's my perspective on what I said. You have this information. This is coming straight from from my mouth. So
He don't care who it is.
Yeah. So
It's up with everybody. But that approach, right? You don't approach a 90-year-old like that. So I get it. But also, if you want to be respected, you have to be respectable. Right? You can't, because.
But do you really, in this day and age, do you have to be respectable?
You don't.
We just dealt with 4 years of the most disrespectful person running our nation.
But this is for the culture. It's not for the country.
Right.
And when it comes to the discourse between us, you do have to be respectful, especially to Minister Farrakhan, right? Like, because I would love to see that discourse between Kanye and Minister Farrakhan to see how that might play out. But at the same time, if you want to have the people behind you, you have to model the behavior that you want to see. If you want to see more respectful discourse in this particular realm, then you have to model that behavior.
So I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm at a point where it's like, why do we have to be above reproach on everything? Why is it that we have to be the top? You understand? In order to reach the top, we have to be damn near perfect. But no one else in the world has to be perfect but us in order for us to reach the top. Why is it that we have to make that achievement and hold our leaders, quote unquote leaders, or those who have platforms at such a high level when they're flawed just like we are? Why can't we accept the person for who they are and still let them lead in the way that they want, or still let them speak in the way that they know how? It's come to a point to where it's like it's literally black on black crime a lot, because we hold a higher standard for people with a platform, yet we fail to give them room to grow, and that's what I don't like. If you make one mistake, we're canceling you on top of all the discourse that we already have, just trying to make it. We're quick to cancel. We're the only culture that is quick to cancel our own. And that has to stop. So him being above reproach, man, I don't accept that, He was the first person that came out on a public platform and says, what we all thought at the time. George Bush doesn't like black folks. He's the one who came out and said that. Was he wrong? Because the actions showed otherwise during Katrina. So someone spoke up. Someone said what everyone was thinking during that time, and it was Kanye.
He does have a history of saying, what people are thinking. And again, I agree with you that I think the standard is extremely high when it comes to political discourse, when it comes to, how we get along with other cultures and groups of people. But within our own community, we do need to have a high standard for how we deal with each other and for how we communicate with each other. Because up to this point, the standards have been very low. And
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off,
go
but
ahead.
a quote from Kanye, um, but we haven't had a high standard since probably the 80s. We continue to promote anti-blackness on our platforms with the way that music has turned out, with the way we over sexualize some of our women, and how can we say that? You know, how can you justify that when our actions have shown otherwise?
Uh, well, um, good question. Good question. I think this is a conversation that's gonna continue. I think Kanye West's heart is in the right place, even though his approach may be offensive to others. Um, you know, it's just funny, man. The two people who are very, very controversial seem to be the ones that are willing to put themselves in harm's way in a Kanye West and a Kyrie Irving. Um,
We could
and
throw Dave Chappelle in that as well, but
yeah,
in a different
yeah,
facet. Like, so,
Dave Chappelle is just brilliant at towing the line. His I really appreciate his stand up that he did on SNL. Um, you know, Dave Chappelle is always timely with his commentary. Man, it's kind of amazing how he always has the right thing to say at the right time to bring sense to these conversations. But I'm just hoping that again, within our community, that we continue to look to raise the standards and how we communicate with each other and how we deal with each other, because in 2022, we don't have to ask for permission to be great. We don't have to apologize. Um, but there are forces in this world that say you need to be mindful of how you're moving at all times and what you're saying, because you could put your foot in your mouth and lose $1.5 million in a bill,
billion.
$1.5 billion in a week. So, but I do appreciate that there is somebody out there that had enough money to put it all on the line, and we'll see how this story continues, man. And we're going to continue to cover it. Man, it's interesting stuff though. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely, and we definitely appreciate everyone who's joining in, who's viewing. Is this our first live? Our first
Yeah,
live.
this is our first
multi-platform live. So
multi-platform broadcast. So,
yeah. So
I know there was one other thing before we go. I know there was something that specifically that you wanted to address, which was him talking about, his mom and Dr. Dre and Bill Cosby and that sort of thing. So, what are your thoughts as we close on that particular?
yeah, and again, this kind of goes back to the the whole secret society conversations that we have in the barbershop within our communities. And for him to come out and kind of say that my mom was sacrificed, Michael Jordan's dad was sacrificed, Bill Cosby's son, Dr. Dre. So it's like, you gotta read the undertones, when these kind of conversations are happening, because he didn't say die, he said sacrificed. So what, sacrifice for what? Did your God, his God, our God sacrifice them? Is it something that needs to be read into a little bit more? It's definitely a topic that I think we gotta keep relevant. When someone is referencing that, because we can go to Bill Cosby about to buy NBC, and then all of a sudden his child is taken away. Jordan and quote unquote his gambling problems, and his father was taken away. So it's like one other thing he references: I never killed nobody, so they have nothing over me. And the whole they are we really at a point where we can't have dialogue about these possible quote unquote conspiracy theorists on secret societies, and history shows us that there has been secret societies.
Well, let me interject real quick, because I was watching Candace Owens. I was watching her show, and she said they were pushing her to come out and speak against Kyrie Irving. Right? And Kanye West said they told Candace Owens that she couldn't talk to me anymore after the White Lives Matter t-shirt thing. He came out and said they told Candace Owens. And then Candace Owens came out and said they were trying to pressure me to speak out against Kyrie. But who's they?
Mm-hmm. Who are they? Are they just the executives? Like, who are they?
Candace Owens does a YouTube show.
Mm-hmm.
Who's they? Mm-hmm. That's reaching out to Candace Owens and telling Candace Owens, you need to not be seen with Kanye West. Mm-hmm. Right? You need to not talk to him. And I assume it's the same they that told her, hey, we need you to speak out against Kyrie Irving. Who's they? Mm-hmm. I'm done.
Yeah. So, yeah, much more to go on. We're going to speak on it. We got a lot of topics that we're going to be discussing, for the culture. Again, I think for the culture is our focus right now, just because there's a lot of things going on, and as Black men, we're talking about our culture and our, and how our people influence society. We're talking about our power, our spending power at that, and what we can do with that. So we're just gonna bring truth to light. This is a discourse between not only Sham and I, but we're gonna want to include a lot of other individuals in this. We're not afraid to. To get people that, on our platform that have difference of opinions. We embrace that. We learn from that. And it's a part of our growth and our journey as well. So, thank you all for joining in, tuning in. We definitely want you to like, subscribe, comment, be a part of the culture, represent yourself, represent your family and your community. So let's get into it. It's a whole lot more.
Indeed. That's for the culture. We out of here.